Hey everybody, what is going on? It's Lazarus here, bringing you yet another MLB The Show 18 video. And today, we're going to be discussing 10 guys who I think should be introduced as new legends in MLB 18 The Show. Now, I compiled 10 guys who, for whatever reason, whether it being, personal preference or just because they were really good, I think they should be legends in MLB The Show 18. Now, this list isn't really ranked in best to least or anything like that. It's more of just a compilation of guys who I think would be great to have in the game. Let me know in the comment section below who you guys think should be added in as a legend. And without further ado, let's get right into the list. Alright, so the first legend I have on the list is Reggie Stalker, or Barry Bonds, whatever you want to call him. And he was in MLB 16 The Show, but he wasn't in 17 The Show. In 16, he was a 99 overall, and you got him for collecting all the cards in the National League. And he was just a straight up monster in that game. If you're wondering why he was called Reggie Stalker in the game, it's basically because he didn't sign some papers and, that meant he couldn't be in the game as Barry Bonds. So they replaced him as Reggie Stalker. And if you dislike Barry Bonds for the whole steroids thing, or if you don't, you gotta look at the numbers and realize this guy is one of the best hitters ever. And probably one of the best baseball players to ever live. Now, there is a ton of controversy regarding whether he should be in the Hall of Fame or not, and that's not really a discussion for this video. Having him in MLB The Show would benefit the game, because, let's face it, who doesn't like slapping the shit out of some homers? Next up, we have recent Hall of Fame inductee Randy Johnson, who is one of the best left-handed pitchers to ever play baseball. If you've ever seen him pitch, you know just how electric his stuff was and how hard it was for hitters to actually hit the ball off this guy. Now, I came up with some ideas for what kind of cards they could actually make for him in 18. What I came up with was a 1990 rookie card where he wasn't too good in his rookie year. He was very erratic, so that'd probably be a lower overall. Probably a common, maybe a bronze. He could also have hardware cards for 95, 99, 2000, 2001, and 2002, as he won the Cy Young Award in all of those years. And also a 2001 postseason flashback, as he did win World Series MVP in the Diamondbacks' first and only World Series victory against the Yankees. I think there's a lot of potential for a Randy Johnson card in the game, because who doesn't want to use a 6'10 beast of a pitcher? Alright, so the next legend we have on our list is Roy Halladay. Now, if you don't know, he unfortunately passed away at the end of 2017, and this led me to watching some of his career highlights and looking back at some of his numbers, and he was probably one of the best pitchers of our generation. Whether he's a Hall of Famer or not, I don't really know. But of course, everyone knows him for his perfect game in 2010, and then in the same year, he threw a no-hitter in the postseason. So some cards they can give him in the game are a postseason flashback for 2010 when he threw his no-hitter. Also, they can give him a hardware for that year, as he did win Cy Young. They can also give him a hardware card for 2003, as he won the Cy Young Award in that year too. And then a rookie card for 1999, back when he wasn't really that good. All in all, I think having a Roy Halladay card in the game would be a nice tribute to his great career. Next up, we have Pedro Martinez, who I do believe is hands down one of the best pitchers of all time. Obviously, we all know he was just recently inducted into the Hall of Fame, and he was just absolutely filthy for almost his whole career. He won the Cy Young Award a bunch of times. He pitched in a lot of important playoff games. He really had it all in his career. Some ideas for cards that would work for him are a rookie 1993 card back when he was with the Dodgers, who actually ended up trading him because they thought he was too short to be a good major league pitcher. We all know how that worked out. And then, of course, you can have some hardware cards for all the Cy Youngs he won in 1997, 1999, and 2000. And I, in general, just feel like Pedro Martinez would be really fun to use in the game because his stuff was electric. Next up, we have Alfonso Soriano, and I don't believe that he'll be a Hall of Famer. If anything, he belongs in the Hall of Very Good. But the reason I'm picking him is because he used to be one of my favorite players back when he still was playing. I always enjoyed watching him either strike out or hit home runs, for whatever reason. And, you have to realize, back in his prime, he was actually pretty good. I'd say slightly underrated, even. He's one of the few players in MLB history to actually have 40 homers and 40 stolen bases in the same season. And I feel like that's someone you wouldn't expect to be an exclusive company like that. Now, for some card ideas for him, he could get a 2001 rookie card back when he was with the Yankees. He was actually pretty clutch in the postseason that year as well, so postseason flashback to the 2001 World Series. That could work too. And he was an all-star pretty much every year from 2002 to 2008. So any one of those years you could fit in for an all-star card. Next up, we have Mariano Rivera, who is the best relief pitcher of all time. I don't think that can be argued. Now, over his long career, we all know that he had the most saves of any closing pitcher ever, but he also has the most WAR by a relief pitcher ever, with a WAR of 39.7. And if you just look at all his stats put together, it's clear that he's above and beyond better than any relief pitcher to ever play the game before him. Now for some card ideas, we have a 1999 postseason card where he won World Series MVP, I believe. In general, in his whole career, he was pretty lights out throughout the whole postseason, so I'm sure there's a number of years you could fit into there. And possibly a rookie card from 1995 where he was a starting pitcher, but he wasn't exactly too good at it and eventually moved to closer. I feel like he'd be another entertaining shutdown reliever that could be added into the game. Our next legend is Greg Maddux, who is one of the best crafty pitchers of all time. Now I say crafty pitchers, and instantly that makes me think of, pitchers today like Dallas Keuchel. And Dallas Keuchel on MLB The Show is not very good to use online. I don't know if it's just me, but using a guy with the soft tossing stuff, it's just a lot more difficult than using guys that can throw 99 and have filthy breaking balls. But I feel like adding Greg Maddux into the game could possibly start to make crafty pitchers easier to use. Having a guy like Maddux could actually improve the game as a whole, because let's be honest, 99% of your opponents are going to be using hard throwers with hard breaking balls, and crafty pitchers really don't get the love they deserve. Guys who put more emphasis on location rather than velocity. So I feel like having more of an emphasis on stuff like that could be a good change of pace. Next up, we have a guy who's a future Hall of Famer and was a very entertaining hitter to watch, and it is Vladimir Guerrero. And as of right now, it looks like he has a pretty good chance of getting inducted into the Hall of Fame later this year. Based on the ballots released, he's doing pretty good. And you might remember him as the guy who could just casually hit bouncing balls in the dirt for base hits. Now in his career, he picked up over 2,500 hits, had almost 450 home runs, and had a WAR of 54.3. Now it was no secret that he was a very good hitter. Some card ideas for Vlad are a rookie card back in '96 when he was on the Montreal Expos, and a 2004 hardware card when he won MVP with the Los Angeles Angels. In at the number 9 spot, we have one of my favorite players of all time. It is the great slugger, Alex Rodriguez. Now you're probably wondering, how could a cheater be one of my favorite players of all time? Well, to tell you the truth, I really don't care about steroid users that much. If anything, I feel like it made baseball more entertaining and probably saved it in the 90s. But I do feel like A-Rod has redeemed himself a lot. He came back in 2015 and 2016, and he really gave it his all. He gave 100%, tried to be a productive player. Even if it didn't work out too well in his last few years in the league, you gotta appreciate the effort. Also, on Fox Sports, he's a really, really good baseball announcer. It's clear he knows exactly what he's talking about, and he's really invested in the game. So some card ideas I have for A-Rod are all-star cards. Well, pretty much every year he was an all-star, which was very often. Hardware cards from his 3 MVP years, 2003, 2005, and 2007. And maybe an impact veteran card from 2015 when he first came back from the whole steroids debacle and actually put up 30 homers for the Yankees. And in number 10, we're going to end it with one of the best baseball players to ever live, Hank Aaron, who many still believe is the all-time home run leader. And if you do, more power to you. Hammerin' Hank was one of the best hitters to ever grace this planet, and part of me wishes I could actually watch him hitting in real life, but it's a little too late for that. Now, throughout his long storied career, he picked up almost 3,800 hits, which is absolutely insane. He hit 755 home runs, which is just also absolutely absurd, and his career WAR is 136.3, which is just crazy. Just by those 3 stats, you know that he is one of the best hitters of all time. Now some card ideas for Hank Aaron. We have hardware for 1957 when he won MVP. We could have all-star cards pretty much every year from 55 to 75, as he was an all-star every year. And I'm wondering next year if they could have some kind of milestone card where they make a card dedicated to a player breaking a record, for instance, the all-time home run record. Something like that I feel like it'd be a cool addition to Diamond Dynasty. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see what San Diego Studios does in regards to new card types and everything like that. But I feel like Hank Aaron would work well in that regard. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments section below what legends you want to see in MLB The Show 18. And if you have any video ideas you want me to do, let me know in the comments. As always, thank you for watching. I'm out. Peace.